Well, when I was 10, I knew I wanted to go into the theatre. Don't ask me quite how, but I did. And I had a puppet theatre, and I wrote plays for my puppet theatre and did shows for the local children and for charity. I mean, it's crazy, really, because that was 60 years ago, and I'm still doing it. Can't get away from it. No, then later on, I wanted to be an actor, really. That was the thing. But I went to university, did a lot of theatre there. And at the same time as that, I had been doing magic at children's parties. And in fact, it was my magic that apparently got me into Oxford, because my tutor had 3 small children. And at the interview, he heard that I did magic and thought I might be useful to have around. The magic, if you like, taught me. It didn't encourage me to write plays for children or anything, but what it taught me was how an audience of children react en masse, which is very different from the way 1 or 2 children react in a room if you're talking to them. So I learnt about audience participation. I learnt about holding an audience, and that led me, when I was after university, when I went into rep theatre, a small theatre in the Midlands of England called Worcester, and it was a brand new company in a brand new theatre, and the artistic director invited me. I was 22, and I was actor director, so I directed alternate plays and I acted in alternate plays, and there were 2 of us, 2 actor directors. And suddenly the artistic director said one day, he said, you do magic at children's parties, don't you? I said, yes. So he said, would you like to do some children's theatre on a Saturday morning? He said, we could do a show where we could use members of the resident company who could tell stories or do sketches, or he said, you could do your magic, and he said, you could sort of compare it and we could have a few songs. So we started doing that, and I found I loved doing it, and we ended up having to do it twice on a Saturday morning because so many children came. So he said to me, would you write the Christmas play? And that was in 1967. And so I wrote my first children's play for him in 1967, which was Hans Andersen's The Tinderbox, an adaptation, which was his idea. And it wasn't very good, but I didn't see it. I was away at another theatre in a pantomime of Aladdin, and I never managed to get there to see it. But I did listen to it. They made a tape recording, and it was so awful that I only listened to Act 1. But it was enough for them to offer me the slot for next year. So the following year, I wrote The Owl and the Pussycat Went to Sea, which is an adaptation of the verses and stories of Edward Lear. And that was the one which sealed my fate, really, because I was able to see that. I didn't direct it. I was in a show as an actor elsewhere, but I came back for the last week of the run, and I saw 10 performances. And the reaction of the audience was so exciting. I thought, it can't stop here. This play, it must happen again. So I vowed to get it on in London, and the following Christmas season, it was on in London. I managed to borrow money to put it on with a small company that I formed, and it did well enough. I got very good reviews. It did well enough to come back the following year. And then Samuel French came along. I'd asked them to publish it, and they'd said no, at least twice. But once I got it into London, they came to see it, and the same day came on the phone and said, yes, we'll do it. And that was a very exciting moment in 1969. And Samuel French have been very good to me, because they've virtually taken everything I've written ever since.